Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to do Director Spotlight number 5, and we're going to put the spotlight on Martin Scorsese. So without further ado, let's dive in and take a look at 10 films from legendary director Martin Scorsese. And the first 3 is going to be in the same case. This is like a little mini Martin Scorsese collection. So we're going to take a look at The Departed. The Departed came out in 2006. You got Leonardo DiCaprio. You got Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, and Mark Wahlberg. So this movie is basically about the Irish mob and the police in Boston. So imagine having the Irish mob put one of their moles into the police who's moving up the ranks in the police, but the police put one of their guys in the Irish mob to move up in the ranks. And then when both organizations find out they both got moles, it's on from there. The Departed is a great movie, and it's a different twist. And to me, this was a return to form for Martin Scorsese. Not to say that he ever lost form, but this was a great movie from him. And for me, when I first saw this movie, just came out of nowhere. Been very familiar with Martin Scorsese for years, but this movie just came out of nowhere, and he slammed it right out of the ballpark. Next up, we got Goodfellas. Need I say anything about that other than the name? So Goodfellas came out in 1990. You got Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Paul Sorvino, and a host of others again. This movie is a legendary crime movie, legendary mob movie, legendary organized crime movie. This movie will make every organized mob type movie list, any gangster list. This definitely dominated in the Tim Talkies Community Challenge list. Now, when I say dominated, it made a lot of people's lists. I don't think it was top pick on everybody's list, but it definitely made quite a few lists. It definitely made mine. So, yeah, 1990s Goodfellas. Next up, we have 2004's The Aviator, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, and Kate Beckinsale, and Alec Baldwin. This movie chronicles some of the life of Howard Hughes. For those of you who don't know, Howard Hughes is more to Howard Hughes. Well, it was more Howard Hughes than just aviation. He dibbled and dabbled in quite a few things, but he was best known for aviation, henceforth the name of the movie. But the Howard Hughes Company is still thriving to this day. Look at their Wikipedia. That company developed a lot of technologies that has come and gone and is still here today. The Aviator, fantastic film, great acting. I loved it. Next up, we have one that I just simply love. It's one of my favorite films. Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, and Jessica Lange in Cape Fear. Cape Fear, now this is a remake from the original Cape Fear that came out. I do believe that came out in either the 50s or the 60s. I think that came out in the 60s with Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck. Fantastic film. But if you watch them side by side, depending on who you are, you might go with this one. Some people are going to go with the original. I've heard some people say they prefer the original. Me, I prefer this one. I mean, looking at the performances from Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck, they were fantastic. They really was. Robert Mitchum was just a bastard. But when you come and look at De Niro's performance, Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte, they both knocked it out of the park. This movie was fantastic. If I had to pick between this and the original, this is one of the few movies I think that was a remake that was better than the original. Cape Fear. Let me know what you think about that down in the comment sections. Do you prefer the original Cape Fear or do you prefer this one? Next up, we got another movie that will make a lot of lists of organized crime gangster movies. That's Casino. Casino came out in 1995. You got James Wood, Don Rickles, and Sharon Stone, along with Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro and a host of others. This is a fantastic movie. So Robert De Niro is playing... man, I forgot to get... anyway, he's running the Tangiers Hotel for the organized... Sam Rothstein. He's playing the role of Sam Rothstein, and he's running the Tangiers Hotel and Casino for an organized crime family, trying to bring them a little bit of legitimate cash and give the organization he's trying to put a legitimate face on this organization, but they want him to stay low-key. And Joe Pesci is out there causing a scene, robbing people, doing what Joe Pesci do in these type of movies. You know, Joe Pesci he's always the one who brings the smoke and the heat. So this was a great movie. I mean, it was fantastic. Next up, we got Robert De Niro in Raging Bull, starring, he actually plays Jake LaMotta, Is it Jake? Yes, Jake LaMotta. You got Joe Pesci in here and Kathy Moriarty. This came out in 1980. It's about a fighter who's rose to success in the ring, but his personal life was destroyed because of it. He really rose in professional boxing, but it destroyed his personal life. It's a black and white movie. It's fantastic. It's a really solid movie. I think this is one of De Niro's best performances. And De Niro, we all know, almost everything he's in is great. Some of the stuff that he's doing now, he's a much older man, is a lot different from the stuff that he did when he was younger. De Niro got a rich legacy of film. Next up, we have another De Niro film, Taxi Driver. So Taxi Driver came out in 1976. You got Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, Sybil Shepherd, Jodie Foster. A fantastic movie about a psychotic taxi cab driver. This is a great movie. You got to check this one out. Next up, we got Mean Streets. Again, 1973, Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel. This is a fantastic police movie. You'll love it. Next up, we got Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, and Max von Sydow, and again, a few others in Shutter Island. Shutter Island is good. Shutter Island came out in 2010. And Shutter Island is a movie that, I had to watch this a couple of times to really get it. This is like a psych thriller with hints of horror. It's just a really good movie, but this is one of the movies I had to watch multiple times to really let it sink in. Like, I had to watch Inception a couple of times to really get it, because when Inception, I'm just sliding off here, guys. When Inception first came out, everybody was raving about it. I watched it and I was like confused, but I had to watch it again. There's a few movies in my collection where I didn't get what everybody was talking about. I had to watch these movies a few times. Tenet, that was another one. I had to watch Tenet twice to get it, but I watched this like 3 times and I got it. When I got it, I was like, wow, this is a home run right here. Shutter Island. Again, like I said, this is like a psych thriller with a little bit of horror. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. If you don't get it the first time, I don't blame you, but it's a good movie. Next up, last but not least, we have 2002's King of New York. Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York got one of my favorite actors. I'm not going to say he's underrated. I think he picks and chooses what he does, and he's retired now. He retired a few years ago. Daniel Day-Lewis. He doesn't get enough shine. I don't think he's underrated, because I think the people who watch Daniel Day-Lewis work, they love it and they enjoy it. Cameron Diaz and Leonardo DiCaprio. So, yeah. So this is all about the Gangs of New York. You know, back in the day, gangs is not a new thing in America. Gangs is not a thing gangs is all around the world. So when you look at like stories about gangs and cartels and stuff like that, it's nothing new. It's been around for a very long time. But Gangs of New York was a fantastic movie and a very, very compelling watch. So that's 10 films from Martin Scorsese, legendary director. And as you notice, he do work with a lot of the same actors over and over again. But that's good, though, because the chemistry, especially with De Niro, the chemistry between Scorsese and De Niro is just crazy. I mean, they did a lot of stuff together. But anyway, that's Hollywood Spotlight number 5, Martin Scorsese. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.